Okay, cool. We're good to go then. All right. Or, good enough. We've got 2 people, 5 viewers. Okay, cool. 5 people. Sweet. Welcome. All right. So, to whoever's watching, I know you're all people who know me, but whatever. It's fun. So, you probably know, most of you probably know this game that are my older friends, and my younger friends have no idea what this game is, probably. Um, and that's perfect, in my opinion. So this game is known as Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and it is awesome and janktacular. It is not the greatest in showing off old games. It's pretty janky, and at the same time, it's glorious. It's more the story that I love, and especially the voice acting, which is a funny thing to love a game for. But um, I believe that the whole series of the game, is just amazing. And I had to start somewhere. And the first one is super jank, super old, but you gotta know the first one at least a little to see the others. And I don't necessarily intend to play through the entire game unless people like it and we want to. I might jump around to other games even. The whole point here is to just sort of chill and talk about whatever comes to my mind or your guys' mind about the game or whatever, and just have a good time. So, enough of me yakking about it. I'm gonna yak about it, but let's play it. So, let me just turn off my little background BGM and move on to the actual business at hand. So, first time ever running this system. They're ever streaming ever, so please be nice to me if possible. Um, we're gonna run this little sucker over here. Hello, whoever just arrived. Hola. Let's see. Power start. Full screen. Okay. Just setting up my game system. Or finishing it. All right, and we're gonna show it. And we're going to turn off slideshow. And now here we go. So here's the game. Uh, let's see if it all works okay. Might be a little loud. You let me know if it is. And there's a chance of all sorts of problems, obviously. But for the moment, so everything's gonna look real old, but I did my best to make it look as clean as possible. It's pretty hard to upscale these games, as I've mentioned to people exhaustingly. That down a little bit. Okay, I'm probably gonna put it on the mode that makes it run better. So, okay, that little screen that went by, I don't know if anyone was watching, but there was a little screen there that said this game was inspired by Silicon Knights or created by Silicon Knights or something like that. And that is a funny story in itself, and that this game has a kind of a complicated pedigree of who owns it and who got to make the sequels for it, which I will not get into at this time, but it matters. There are 4 sequels to this game, and this is the janky beginning.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
Elber X94, welcome. Sorry if you don't understand everything. Um, I believe some people here know Spanish, actually, if that's what you're speaking natively. You can feel free to communicate in the chat if you'd like that way. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting this awesomeness. Now look at how beautiful these amazing CGIs are. I mean, they're just amazing. Oh wow. Oh, that's too graphic for me. Okay, good to know. Frames are dropping. Okay. Also, this is super old, so it might just be old, but probably not.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
It just depends how bad it is. Yeah, this is the first time. First time.
Fulfilling the circle mallet of the
I mean,
sun.
no, I've played this
One
game.
year
I've
boy,
played it
death.
several times, but first time on Twitch, ever streaming anything.
The pleasures of the flesh are no longer.
Now,
You
I
are
always
but
found this
one purpose.
opening deeply confusing.
You will serve us for eternity.
Some sort of performance mode. My stream is experiencing issues. It's a lot of frame drops. I thought there was a performance mode. I was using it earlier.
The tavern's closing. Best be
Huh.
on your way, stranger. What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
And you notice I said absolutely nothing during the dialogue. I really love the voice actor for the main character in this game. I think everyone does. I don't know his name at the moment. I had it and I dropped it in my head, thinking about all these other tech issues. Now this is just the opening. I get a little bit of control, but it's not going to count too much for. So I haven't started. Game hasn't started yet, in my opinion.
That's him!
Oh,
Hey, Victus!
these guys are mobbing me.
End it! Now!
Oh, it's too bad. Poor guy. I love that hand scream. Uh,
They, Victus, suffering. To
well,
think
I am
that
recording this either
ironic,
way.
Now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical.
This is the
pain,
PSX
rather
version.
cruel jab of impotent anger.
I'm gonna listen to him talk, though.
For revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost.
I can switch to the good old games version, I just have to get it.
Not even revenge.
It's $7, I think. Ooh. Monster eyes.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
Alright.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
Can everyone at least hear the voice of our hero? It's really more important than the visuals, in my opinion. I would listen to a teleplay of the, or whatever, audio play of this with just the voices. Okay, just trying to make sure that I can get some frames back if possible here. Oh wow, no, we're having a bit of a freak out here. Just a second. Okay. Okay, so can anyone, is this even remotely watchable, or is it losing too many frames? I mean, it's already jank on its own natively, so...
The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
I thought there was a mode. It's like a performance mode that makes it so I don't watch my own stream. Huh. Well, that's nice of you. Watchable. Okay. Okay, the cutscenes were bad. Gotcha. What if I just minimize this and just not look at it? I can just make my computer happier. I don't know, we'll try that for a second. So... yeah, this game is something else. I don't know if there's many other games like it. It's right in between the old and the new. The time when Super Nintendo turned into PlayStation. And, so there's a lot of...
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the heart of darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body.
Man, that's some juicy dialogue. Anyway, it's kind of like... sometimes it looks a lot like Mortal Kombat to me, in its sort of... it's straining to be more than it can be.
This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased.
Okay. Now, I always have kind of an issue with this, you drink blood in this game. Call me old-fashioned, I always feel bad for killing these women chained to the wall. Great sound effects, though.
These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells.
Alright, we can do magic. Boy. I just want to see the chat, but also have this window closed, so I'm just looking at how I might do that. I don't know how I can do that. Yeah, I think it's me having the window open is causing it to freak out a little bit. Yeah, so the Legacy of Kain saga, I've played all of them. I think I've beaten all of them. I don't remember if I beat this one. It gets kind of hard near the end. Unless you cheat. I don't want to say cheat. Like, unless you, like, you know, do some cheesiness. There's some, you know, little tricks. I don't think I ever was the kind that learned them all. I just was kind of a, well, I don't want to say I was against
Within the
that. I
walls of
wasn't.
these chambers I could find respite, and if I so chose, resume my journey when my weariness abated.
Alright, so this is the save point, and we're going to save. I think it'll let me save. I hope. If I lose my stuff, I'll just play by myself again until we get to the same spot. If we want to pick it up, that is. So I noticed the timing on that is really weird. It's 5 days and 1 hour or whatever. So I don't recall if the timing mechanic matters that much in this game, but there is a day and night cycle and weather. Um, I'll get into that a bit more later because he kind of talks about it, and I think it's cool to hear him talk about stuff. It's always better to hear him talk than me. So, our hero Kain. So we're gonna get out of here now. Now I'm hearing a little bit of a whine, high-pitched whine. Oh, it's the
When
game. Okay.
rainfall comes, vampires are wise to find shelter from its acidic touch.
So yeah, he's a vampire, if we didn't already catch that. This is a vampire game. Now, I picked this because of, you know, October, right? And I like horror games. Not all of them, but most of them. And I wouldn't call this a horror game. I'd say it's heavy horror theming, but this is more of a adventure, maybe like Zelda-esque, like old school Zelda feeling. And you go around getting things and opening places and chopping up things. I don't need to save again. I apologize. Now one of the things that people really got mad about with this game at the time was the loading screens. They didn't like how common they were, which is interesting. There was plenty of games with loading problems, but that was one of the critiques. If you look at this on IMDb or any of the other gaming sites, I mean, IMDb is for movies, but they have game stuff now. I was surprised to see today. If you look it up, you'll find that this game's got pretty high reviews. Now, I'm going to say a lot of that is accurate. It is a great game. I'm going to say some of that is nostalgia because it's it's a little, it hasn't aged super well. I'm being tough on it though because I love it so much. I'm being tough on it. I didn't even need to kill her. I don't know if you noticed when I suck the blood out of people, it flows down from those skulls on the side from his beautiful portrait, right? And it then flows into my little vial, and if my vial's full, it overflows. I always thought that was like super metal. And it's like I'm just drinking these people's blood for fun now. I don't care. I'm a vampire. I'm evil. I guess these guys are grave diggers. I don't know. They seem to be really like casual in how they're attacking me, and also like not helping these ladies out down here. Like I don't know. I don't think the game really gets into it, but this is a world populated with vampires, and there is some level of like, I think, sacrifices and placation happening. So maybe that's the deal. Some other people might be in the chat know more about the game than I do. Good chance of it. At least this particular title. But this place that we live in, or we're playing in, is known as Nosgoth. And Nosgoth is the gothic land of gothic-y stuff. And I think that it kind of fits within the realm for it to have people just chaining women inside mausoleums for vampires, it tracks. It does. So it's not like impossible.
These curious devices hurl bolts of whirling energy and eviscerate my human enemies by stripping ragged flesh from blood-stained bone.
Ragged flesh from blood-stained bone. Again, the writing is just magnanimous. I've always loved it. Let's try it. So, let's see. A little bit of jank going on here. Let's open up the menu. Menu is one of the things I really like in this game. I'm a big fan of menus, so people who know me know this. So we got the magic menu. Like you see this great picture of Kain over there. Then we got the magic menu, which is orb.
The
And so
heart of
oh,
darkness.
my mistake. Item menu. This is the item menu. And
Flay.
you can pick the item and it'll talk about it again. I think.
Flay.
He should just say its name. He might just say it.
Flay.
Yeah. Well, nice to hear that over again. So I can see people being bothered by this little loading thing every time you change menus. Yeah, I can see that. I might be able to monkey with the system to make it go faster if I really, really wanted to. I don't think it's a good idea though.
Sanctuary. Sanctuary.
So this is
Sanctuary.
okay. Thank you, Kain.
Sanctuary.
Oh, that's his only spell right
The
now.
sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
I mean, I love this stuff. This reminds me of games like Torment and I don't know, just some others with these really in-depth,
Sanctuary.
cool menus.
The
And
sanctuary.
okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting lost in there. Thank you. This is a
Iron
sword.
sword.
I know he has more to say about the sword than that.
Forged by the Cerioli, the legendary weapon masters of Nosgoth, this blade will serve me well in life and beyond.
Life and beyond. And let's see, look at the picture of his armor.
Iron armor. As it was born from hellfire, forged by the necromancer's magic, my armor resists fire and provides me with strong defense.
Okay. We've got armor, iron armor. Now, of course, this implies to us that we're going to get something other than iron armor. And I'll tell you, some of my favorite items
As it was
ever
born
are from this game. They just look cool and they sound cool. So let's exit this menu. Now let's go through the painstaking action of trying to choose a spell or an item. So there's the map. I got the map up. There we go. Okay. You pick a thing. There we go. Whoever is there, nice to thank you very much. Whatever that means, I'm not sure yet. And we'll just chuck it just for the fun of it. We'll get a bunch more later, so no worries. Let's see, it's triangle, X, and he's gone. Yep, and he's gone. Now, I've always found the diagonal is a little bit sketchy for me. It never quite works the way I think it will. I'm just turning the volume down for myself, and it's really loud on my headphones. Anyways, the help me, kind sir, always loved that. I'm not gonna help you. Or, I guess I am helping. Well, ending his pain. So this first little bit's just really a bunch of little how the game is played tutorial bits. And there's a lot of old school gaming here. You know, press the button, move the thing, kill the bad guys. Like it's it's a very simplistic game sometimes for how complicated and weird the story is. And this story gets weird. Okay, another Heart of Darkness. So that's going to be like a very important item because they keep me from dying. They're like little bits of blood. You squish them, I guess, and then you eat them. And if I ever run out of blood, I can use the Heart of Darkness and come back. And so, but only with a tiny bit of blood. So they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're extra lives. They're not. They're kind of like the fairies from Zelda. Not as good. Now, you can also choose to use them, I guess like the fairies. And they, if you do, they give you more blood. So that's nice. Now, in the opening, we
The
saw...
world had changed to my
hold on.
eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things.
I just, no comfort, only malice. Okay. I don't even want to repeat his
Hunger
lines.
and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
So I was like, yeah, I don't even want to repeat his lines because I could never read them as amazingly as him. So here's the guys that killed me. I guess they're just hanging out in the forest again.
Killed you, bastard! If we put you down once, we could do it again.
What trickery is this? Their sneering faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill. There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
I do like the extreme buff that you feel from what you were before. I mean, you could kill these guys in the beginning, but there was too many of them and you were just mobbed. Now they're pathetic. And it's a great feeling. It doesn't last the whole game. There's definitely some enemies that are just really a pain.
'Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instruments of your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
You might recognize that voice actor. He has done a lot of stuff. I'm tired. The names they're on another page on my computer, and I don't want to slow everything down, both by making me slow, but also by making the computer
This
slow.
was where the bloody deed of my murder took place.
So I will just reference them later. His voice acting in this game is just really important. It's everything to me. I mean, and the writing, of course. Now we're just in this town here. I don't even know, like, this is just where I was when I died. There's just people around, and I'm just walking around with my sword. And they don't seem to really care. I mean, I think I'd be scared, even if it was just, thought he was a human being. And I can just kind of come in here and just, you know, kill him. And, they don't seem to mind. It's fine. So this is kind of pre-Grand Theft Auto, you know, none of that sort of freaking out. I guess they just, maybe like they're just trying to go about business, you know, oh no, the vampire's in town. Just let him do whatever he wants. It'll be better for all of us. I don't know. It does matter if you kill them though, in a non-story way. Sometimes if you kill humans, they don't come back later. There's just like spirits later. And spirits give you mana, but they don't give you blood. So, if you look on the right side, I better check the chat. If anyone said anything yet. I mean, I doubt it much. Except for The ultimate serve, maybe. Oh, I got someone. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, woe to the conquered. Thank you for bringing that up. Heliofax, I know who you are. I will not use your real name. It is, yeah, this very important line in the game. It just sort of embodies his personality in a lot of ways. So he says it when you fight enough. He'll just yell it out sometimes. Um, let's see. Yeah, it was the first time we played it for sure. We played it together. Anyways, we go back with vampire games. We played a lot of vampire games together. So me and Heliofax are buds from way back. I'm gonna leave her alone. I don't know. I just feel like being nice on that one. Some beds here. Anyway, yeah. So like, I mean, everything they say matters in this game. I don't know if they had the whole saga planned in the beginning, because we'll find if we ever go to the next game, which I love. There's a great shift in sort of, I should say, gameplay style. It's like a different, I don't want to say it's a different genre. It is still the same genre, but it's just very different. And it sort of stays more like that game for the rest of this series. Now, there's two different, let's see, let's hear him talk about this
The
place.
necromancer had offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
So we must find some pillars. Now, yeah, let's look at this. Okay. So yeah, there's Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, and Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain. So Blood Omen is when you're playing Kain, and Soul Reaver is when you're playing as a guy named Raziel, who's not important for this game. He's not in it at all, I don't think. Although technically he is alive at this time, I believe. He may be dead, but it's hard to remember. All right, so I'm just gonna be honest. There's time travel in these games. Okay, so you got to draw some lines on some paper. Do some loops. I'm not gonna say it's a Steins Gate situation, but it's pretty complicated, and I've always liked it. The way they done it in this game. Their explanations as to how and why it works. But that's not as important in the first title. So yeah, so the Blood Omen is with Kain here, and it has to do with vampire-y type stuff, and then Soul Reaver is with Raziel, but they kind of intertwine. And in the last game, Defiance, you play as both characters, and it was a good one. I really liked Defiance. It's a good finale, even though it wasn't the finale. So, yeah, but anybody, if you are ever interested in playing these games, I will warn you, it is not a finished saga. It's 5 games, and it still never ended. Because of, I guess, market changes and maybe some drama inside the companies, the story never got fully finished. There was a recent, well, when I say recent, I don't know, like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, there was kind of an attempted revival, but it got canceled. So I didn't really like the screenshots I saw of it. I might find some of those though and just put them up there if I stream this again. I'll add some extra flavor. But this title really kind of sets the groundwork for I guess the overall
Night
gothicness.
dawns, and with it the vampire grows stronger.
Yeah, I know some people who really love this game didn't like the next title. And I respect that. It was a very big departure in style.
The pillars of Nosgoth.
Ooh, look at that beautiful drawing
Even
right
in
there.
life, few sights have moved me such as this.
It's moving. It really
I
is.
marvel that such beauty should grace our dying world.
Marvelous. They have some really good versions of that in the other games of that, view. And I'm sure there's some good fan art as well. Teleporters. Yeah, so there's teleporters in this game. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Um, I think they should just let you walk through the forest. I think it would look cooler. But it's okay. It's all right. So here we are at the pillars.
Nopraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and
I hope it looks
blinded
better
you.
this time.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ari, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace.
No,
The
but
Nine of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Nopraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth.
tasty.
You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Kain. Beware the unspoken.
Beware the unspoken. Don't speak of it, just beware of it. Sorry, I can't help myself.
Nopraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each Circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the Circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the Circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Nopraptor began.
Alright, did we get all that? No? Good. So, basic idea is, we've got the many parts to solve the one thing quest, right? Go along the world. There's 9 things we have to fix, right? So, there's 9 people we have to kill, basically. So, this is the dark Zelda, right? This is the evil Zelda game. So, let's go over and look at these pillars now. I love these things.
The pillar of the mind. The pillar of dimension.
Being killed by the ring's fine, though. It's barely any damage. Oh, I just used a spell.
The pillar of nature.
It's kind of jank. That was the pillar of conflict. He got hit while I was looking at it, so... Pillar of conflict. Okay, then we got...
The pillar of balance.
That's an important one.
The pillar of energy.
Don't touch that one. It's dangerous.
The pillar of time.
Definitely don't touch that one.
The pillar of death.
Sure, that would be fine to touch. Okay, so we got death, time, energy, what else? Dimension, nature, conflict, mind, and balance. I might have missed one there, but this is, I always liked this, in that it's not fire, water, air, earth, these are weird things. These are almost conceptuals, not literal things, but these are like the very pillars of Nosgoth, and they're these weird, kind of hard to define things. Well, I mean, I guess you can define them, but they're not physical. So this is where the pontificating part comes for me is that I always liked kind of reading into games and finding out like I guess like what does this all mean, right? Now I don't want to overdo it, but I I think that there is a good case to be said that a lot of our society and world is kind of based on concepts and not just physical
These
things.
beacons serve as landmarks during my flights in bat form. Once I have committed their locations to memory, I can always return. In bat form, I can travel great distances with ease. From my vantage in the heavens, no region of Nosgoth is forbidden to me.
Alright, so you guys notice that we're a vampire. We just talked to a ghost. And now we've picked up a spell called Bat Form. Oh, I needed that blood. Okay, well. Now, I never really liked how zoomed in the map was. I mean, like, there's that. Let's see, hold on. There's another button for this. Is it triangle? No, it's not triangle. It's not R2. I might end up using an item on accident. R1? No, that's the spells. That's the forms. Okay. Oh, that's the menu. I'll make sure I know the buttons better next time. Okay, so there is a way to zoom the map out. I don't recall how to do it, though. So, I mean, you can look at the map the way I did, but there's a way to zoom the screen out a bit to kind of see more, but it looks really bad. Like, the quality goes down quite a bit. So we're in this little picture of Kain there. Oh, that's interesting. We're in a little place here. They knew he was coming, I guess. Nice of them. If anyone's still watching, is the frame rate any better now, or is it still suffering? Looks like it's got some problems. Yeah, looks like we dropped a bunch of frames over there. Well, I'll have to read into that. It's probably just because I'm using multiple monitors and, you know, all sorts of stuff at the same time. It could be my internet. Totally possible. Anyway, I am recording this, so that shouldn't have that loss. There's a lot of little, like, classical obstacles in this game. I always found that, like, these little floating spikes like this, I always thought it was kind of funny because, like, the games, once they started getting a little bit more realistic, I started thinking the spikes, things like this didn't make sense to me. So it's like, who would put this as a defense mechanism? It's just, it's inconvenient. It's a way to kill the help, is what that is. Not wily thieves, you know?
While it is true that natural light weakens a vampire, magical light can have many uses indeed.
So yeah, my first spell is kind of loserific. It is make things brighter, right? It's funny that the vampire's first the sanctuary spell, but his first active spell is just make it brighter. So it's a flashlight. But hey, we all need ways to see in the dark, right? that makes me think about the standard idea that, you know, vampires can see in the dark. I think that would be true in this world if it wasn't for them just needing gameplay elements here. But, I do think that it brings into account or brings into the discussion the traits of vampires in this world. Now, I think this has one of the coolest vampire ecologies I have ever seen in a video game. Okay, quiet, please. Quiet. Thank you. Okay, there's someone else asking for my help. Everywhere. I mean, Kain is kind of, I don't want to say bog standard. He's the slightly better version of a vampire. He's not the floor model right now, but he's definitely not like a discount model either. He doesn't get killed by going out in the daylight. Now, in the second game, they talk about how vampires spawn, the weaker vampire. They do. They die the second sunlight touches them. And so if Kain were to make sire a vampire right now, his vampires that he sired would die from sunlight instantly. But he's something more. He's actually made by a necromancer. He's not directly made like other vampires would be. So he's some sort of special version. They get into that a little bit more later, but not quite as much as I'd like. But in the next games, they definitely talk about it. And there's some elements that I wish I could delve into more. I'd kind of like to talk about them more in the sequels, but basically vampires just get stronger and stronger over time. I mean, that's standard Dracula stuff, but here they take it to a almost super heroic level. You know, vampires get extra appendages, and they grow, change colors, and get all sorts of things. And that makes them kind of monstrous as they get older. And I really dug that. I had friends who did not. They liked the vampires to all be sexy and beautiful. I kind of like the idea of, you know, the evil corrupting and twisting you over time. And, you know, I'm fine with both kinds of vampires existing. I like both. I like the pretty vampires. I don't know if I like the sparkly ones. Not really a big fan of sparkle vampires. But, no, there's room. There's room for all kinds of things. Now, I haven't even been using my spell to make it brighter in here. Because I don't really think it's useful sometimes, but I don't really need it. I hope you don't need it. I can see fine on my screen, but I find it funny, these explosions, the noises, the sound effects in this game. We're going to talk about that. So, I don't know the origin behind it, but it's obvious that there are some of these sound effects in this game are part of like a soundtrack. You know, that just people paid the rights to have. And, you know, some of these sounds you'll hear in other video games, especially of this era, the 32-bit era. And, you know, it's obvious that they kind of had to, I think, button this up a bit quickly sometimes. Other times, I just don't think they knew what kind of cheesy mistakes they were making. They didn't realize how amazing things were going to get. But the you know, the explosion sound effects, the monstery... oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. Double. We got double. For just a second. You know, the sound effects of the weapons. I think a lot of this stuff, I think, wasn't created for this game specifically. So let's see if we can do double. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, look. Oh, I got hit by the spikes. Alright, well. So now I just need to find... There we go, we found that exit. See, I almost missed that one because it was dark. Now this dungeon is really... This is like the first actual, I guess, dungeon. And it is really a gimme. I mean, there's these people everywhere, you know? I mean, there's the explosive skeletons. You know, they really. I think the job. Now I see why those gravediggers were such hard asses. I mean, those guys have to deal with some dangerous stuff. There's explosive skeletons, it's floating spikes underneath. I mean, you know, it's dark. Yeah, those guys have to be tough. And at this point, I got enough health, and spikes are so low damaging, I can just kind of push my way through. Now, I have finished this dungeon. I'm going to save. Now, we really haven't gotten much interesting stuff aside from the little story bits and so forth. I haven't got any items or any weapons or anything. Well, let's see if I can get to one more thing. Let's see if I can get to one more thing. Before I call it quit for the night. Because I'm a sleepy boy. I am sleepy. Sadly, to my friend, uh, one of my friends here, I think still here, lives in Australia, so the time difference, I'm sure it's a nice time of day for you.
As daylight chases darkness, the vampire's power wanes.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There's the zoom. Got it. So it just looks kind of bad to me. Like it wasn't ready to the the pixels per inch wasn't high enough on the screens. And the sound effect they get for those guys throwing knives is just hilarious to me. I need to look at the map now. I played this game earlier to be ready, but it's been a couple, like 2-3 weeks, so world map. Oh, look at that quaint little map. Okay, I really got nothing from that. I don't know about you guys, but I was by the pillars, and I guess that's the city down there, and that's the mausoleum where I was reborn. Okay, I it doesn't help me. Oh wait, hey, oh there's more. Okay, wait, moving it up there. Okay, I have to go to that place. Um, to retreat. Okay, all right. So there's more. There's a lot more. Okay, that's a big. Yep. Okay. Doesn't really show me how like what's the right like travel path, and obviously the pillars are not that big relative to say my mausoleum that I came out of. So it's not my favorite kind of map, but it's cute. And I believe the Dark Diary is where you can watch the scenes again and stuff like that. So, um, not always an option in games, even today. Of course, you can just go on YouTube now and just watch whatever, but I think. Let's see. Oh, there's a doggy. Oh, oops, sorry, doggy. Doggy no more. I was just trying to play fetch. My bad. Ragged flesh from blood-stained bone. Oh, that's a mug. Oh, wow, that face. Okay, so I'm gonna save here because I'm exhausted. So I've had quite a day. So I'm gonna just explain here that there's more to the the Halloween feel than just the vampire-ness of this game. So, um, yeah, I will pick this up next time or something else if I change my mind. But if people are into that, if people want to see me play this game again and talk about it, I can have more random bits to talk about. Um, Hopefully I'll be less tired the next time, and I'll be better at talking about it. But I think that's a good taste of uh, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Um, I hope everyone enjoyed at least some of that. That obviously there's the issues with the is the issues with the technology so far are still a little frustrating for me, but I figured that would be the case. Um, I hope you guys had a good time. I know I'm probably supposed to stream for 2 hours. That's what they said online. But I'm just sleepy, so I'm going to call it for now. But I deeply appreciate anyone who stuck around and anyone who actually watches this if I ever share it as a video again. Uh, yeah, I think this is a great game, and I think people should play it again. I do think that it has some old school elements that are a little bit outdated, and I don't think many people want to play anymore. I do think it gets a little bad hard in some areas, but for all of its campiness and jank, I think it's a lovely story, and it only gets better. And as the series goes on, and starting with the second one, Soul Reaver is totally fine. It is a good place to start, but I figured this one's more Halloweeny anyways. So I hope you all have a great night. Um, and I look forward to maybe streaming again if people want to tune in. Anyways, it was fun. Thanks so much. Well, good night, y'all.